All right, and we're recording.
I see that. It says
Yeah.
live.
So I don't know, like welcome to the show. Cheney, how you well fuck it. I don't know. All right.
Oh, good. Yeah, get it out. Get it
all
out. You
right.
should see how many takes I take when I do a review. When I start it, I legit had 15 takes or something when I did that apocalypse review. It was like 15, almost 20. It's like, hey guys, how's it going? Oh no. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the ToyMigos YouTube channel. This is Cheney. Hey guys,
Yeah, I know,
like
right?
over and over and
That's what I
over
mean.
again. It's
It's
all
all right.
right. Yeah, don't sweat it, man. We all go through it.
Shit. I just completely went blank.
It's okay. You get it. You
I don't
get
even
it.
know what to say. Oh, welcome to the show, Cheney. Thank you for joining me. How you doing?
Oh, I'm not bad. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. So just want to sit here and pick your brain, so
Okay.
I can maybe get better at this toy photography. All right, if
Okay.
you don't mind answering some
Yeah,
questions for me.
absolutely. You
All
got it.
right, so let's just get right to it.
Okay.
What inspired you to pick up the camera and start shooting?
Basically I had gotten really hardcore into collecting again. And so it was when Instagram just started kicking off and I was seeing all these Lego pictures and stuff. And then I stumbled upon like some of the ACBA stuff and I was like, I could do that. Like I could do that. Like I love posing my figures. Like I could do that. Little did I know there's way more that goes into it, but it was a starting point. So that's basically what it was like just looking at pictures on Instagram and going like, okay, I like that. Like I would like
Yeah,
get my phone and I would lean down and take pictures of like stormtroopers and stuff. And I was just like, oh yeah, that looks cool. Like that's awesome.
that's cool. So, like,
Yeah.
how long have you been doing this?
Um like if we go from then, like when I just started like doing it with my phone, probably almost 10 years now.
Oh wow,
Almost 10
nice.
years. Yeah.
Okay,
Because I started back in like 2012, 2013. Maybe earlier. Yeah, 2012-ish, I want to say, somewhere around there.
early, nice. So
Yeah.
you just said you started off with your phone, shooting with your phone. So how was
Mhm.
that? Like, especially back then, it was it a flip phone?
No, no, it was I believe it was an iPhone. Um and I thought that I was like, hot stuff cuz like I would like I had a chair in my room and I put like a piece of white paper down and I'd like put the figures on there and like it's like, all right, yeah, I knew nothing about lighting, so like I would come home from work in the morning and the light would be shining in on my office in my room and I'm like, all right, perfect, this is the perfect time of day to do this. And so I take pictures and I'm like, all right, this looks cool. That was like the introduction of it. Like that was like, okay, awesome. And then I started like seeing like what the ACBA guys were doing and whatnot, and I was like, okay, I could do that. Like let me get a diorama and let me get some lights and that'll look cool. And so I started like messing with that and I was like, I got some criticism on there and I was just like, at first I got a little upset. And then I was like, well, let me take what they said and apply it to my picture and do it over again. Because at that time, like I was just like, okay, let me knock this out. So I took the picture real quick and I was like off doing something else, right? And so I didn't take the time to like really like take it in and like kind of like soak it in and go, okay, all right, is that right? Is that right? Is the pose on that right? Does that make sense? Is the lighting too hot here or there? Like I had no idea about any of that stuff. Not to say that, by any means, like number one, I want to say out the gate, like I feel very honored that you would have me on here to even talk about this because I don't view myself as a, really good toy photographer. Like I would say I
Please.
I just been doing it for, been doing it for a while. And I honestly think I do okay. I wouldn't say I'm great or good or anything by
Well,
those
I hope
standards.
one day that I'm just okay like yourself.
Um, so I got into that, and then I started learning lighting, and I was at that point in time. I think I had moved over to was like, the phone isn't going to cut it, because it would always want to autofocus and stuff like that. So my wife had a like a little point and shoot camera, and so I
Mhm.
was using that for a long time. And I had built like a light box on my desk, and so I'd take all the pictures in there, and I was like, okay, cool, this is awesome. And I was accumulating like diorama pieces and stuff like that, and I was buying all these different kinds of lights and trying to find like what lights worked, and still didn't know too much about it. It's definitely a skill that is, you need to grow. Like, there's a whole trial and error there, and some people pick it up quick, and others, it takes a while.
Yeah.
um and like, I've learned, like, with like lighting, especially like for me personally, like, lighting is like everything. Lighting can like take a shot from being, whatever, to just phenomenal, like that.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way, just like you thinking, "Hey, I can do that too," and jumping into it and thinking, "No, I can use natural light. It'll probably look a lot better." And then when I actually snap the picture, and then, from what you see on the camera screen to your laptop or computer or even your phone, it's like, "Okay, that's not what I did.
That's
Who
not what
did
I
this?
thought. That's
Like,
not what I thought I saw. Yeah.
who did this?"
And
But sticking to that, um, you're talking about like the lighting and all that things. Let's get into what kind of camera are you using now these days, like today.
what I have now is a DSLR Rebel, Canon Rebel 5, I think it is. It's an old camera. Like, it's a fairly old camera. I should probably upgrade, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Um I've got other things that I want to like get beforehand, so I'm thinking maybe next year I'll buy a new camera and try and work with that. But right now it's a Canon DSLR Rebel 5, I believe. I got it in a bundle pack at like Costco
Oh,
years and
okay.
years
Yeah.
ago, and it
Nice.
came with all kinds of stuff. I've got a lens that I got for Christmas one year on there, so it's like kind of a zoom lens, but not, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But that's what I got now for that. And then the lights, like the lights that I love now, um, are these little Ulanzis,
Okay.
and you can pick these up on Amazon for, what did I get them for last time? I just bought a couple because I fried one of them like a couple weeks back. But you can, these are awesome because you can just, it's got the little switch here,
Nice. Oh, okay.
and you could change it from color to, no, what the heck? That must be the newer one. Huh. Well, you can change it to normal lighting.
Yeah.
So yeah, this must be a new one because it's like it has a cop car scene function. That's weird. But you can pick these up on Amazon for fairly cheap. They're like $30 maybe. I want to say around $30. So
Okay. Nice.
I've got 6 of those now, and then I've got 4 of these Lume Cube mini panels. And these just do light, they don't do color or anything. But for the size, they're great. And you can make these warmer or colder depending on the, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
And just for, scale wise with like a figure. So here's a Captain America figure in that. So like you could put your Captain America figure here, for instance, set your light to the side. And then, you've got some cool lighting. I have 4 of these, so I could put 2 on each side. And then what I'll usually like to do is put one in the front a little bit at a real low to kind of give it that front light effect.
Hmm.
So I like those a lot. And then I have 2 Lume cubes. So I've got the basic little 4-click Lume cube right here. And then I've got one of the other ones where you can adjust it, and it comes with the gels and stuff like that.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
And you bought like most of those like on Amazon and stuff and whatnot.
Or lumecube.com. That's where I got all the panels from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I love those things. Like, that's my thing recently, is like I love testing different stuff out with lighting. like lighting from the top, lighting from the sides, and then I've got like two lamps on my desk right here that are on right now, and I can adjust those with color changing LEDs as well.
Yeah, I remember when I first started, I didn't have anything, and I was literally using like light bulbs and lamps, those desk lamps and stuff like that. And then I remember our friend Rich El Sinestro, he came and he sent me a little goodie package, and it's like photography like stands with the aluminum thingy, whatever the hell you want to call it. I
Mm-hmm.
thought I was like gonna be working at a photo studio, or he robbed one or something, sending me all that stuff. But that's when I learned like, oh shit, like lighting is it's m- really important, actually.
Very
It's really
important.
important,
Yeah. Yep.
so that's cool. What are some settings that you think like that you would use on your camera that you think are important when it comes to doing a shot? Because I know a
Well,
lot of people don't take those things into consideration, is the settings on your camera.
oh, dude, that's a big thing. Like, it's funny because like here's where I'm the novice because I can't like speak to exactly what they are. I just know what the gauges are on my camera. So it's like
Yeah.
the f-stop is like, it keeps like the subject like wherever the focal point is. Like if you want it, like wider, whatnot, then it'll keep everything in the shot crisp. But if you want it like just like up front, just like the face of the subject, like crisp and clear and everything else blurry, then you make it lower. Um, and then there's the other two. There's the I always get them mixed up, man. This is horrible, but it's the aperture and the other one. Um, yeah, I'm horrible at this. I just know how to work my camera. Like
Yeah, yeah, same. I remember Johnny was helping me with a shot one time, and he
Johnny's
started
great for that. Like
he started talking that stuff, that mumbo jumbo, and I was like, so I turned the camera on and then I do what? It was just like, oh, you better talk to me like I'm in like a kid, man,
here,
because I don't know what you're saying.
here's the one thing that will help you get through that, right? So like the one of the major misconceptions that a lot of people have is like, okay, I like if so and so photographer has these settings on his camera, then I'm going to use those settings all the time. That's not applicable because that person has those settings for that specific shot that they wanted to do.
Mhm.
So utilizing those settings all the time isn't going to work. You got to get in there and you got to play with it. Like you got to like mess with things and adjust things and go, that looked horrible and that looked great. And then you can get to a point where you're comfortable and you go, okay, I want this kind of look. So in order for it to look a certain way, I'm going to have to like really bring up this and turn that down or whatever to get it to look that way, to get it the light to look the way that you want it on the subject. Like you got to get in there and just really just mess with it. Like honestly, like just get in there and just mess with all the settings. Like, okay, like this is where it was when I started. If you need to mark it down, mark it down, but go in there and like really just kind of play around with it. Like, okay, if I rank, you know, if I bring up the ISO or if I lower the ISO or like with ISO is like, it's like it'll makes it crispy or fuzzier. I'm horrible with this. So like don't take my word on all of this because it's like there's like the ISO and then the f-stop and then it's coming back to me a little bit now. But so you can like adjust like I think it's the ISO and then the other one is the one you can it's like 200, 400, 600, whatever. And the lower you go, the crispier it is, but the more light you have to use. So if you have to use a bunch of light for it to come out nice and
Mhm.
crisp.
Mhm.
And ideally that's going to work great if you're taking pictures of toys because nothing moves. If you're out and about and you're doing like taking pictures of like animals or something like that, that setting will not work. It's not going to
Yeah.
work for you. It all depends on what you're specifically using it for. So a lot of guys they'll go super low because they can do that because there's nothing going on. So you can do that, but basically just play with the settings, find out what works, find out like, okay, if I do this, it does this. If I do that, it does that. So I want to do this certain thing. So I'm going to adjust my settings to this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still learning some of
Hmm.
these things, especially when
Me too.
like
Me
the
too.
ISO and things like that. Like I take 7 or 10, 20 of the same picture, literally like one click, take a pic, one click, take a pic, and then just go there. But you see the
A
difference.
difference.
Yeah, on just that, and I'm just like, wow, like these are still things that I'm learning and that I can't see through the camera lens that I can pick up when I upload them on the computer, you know?
Hmm.
Because it's a more broader view of what you actually have done and
Hmm.
how it's actually gonna come out,
Right.
pre-editing or whatnot. Now, you know, that's another question that maybe I don't know if you do or not, but how are you when it comes to editing? Are you, like, heavy on editing? Do you do minimal or, or none at all?
I would say minimal, but I've like expanded a little bit more with the editing just because there's certain things like Chamba turned me on to color grading or color adjustments. And that just made a world of difference. Like because I'll take a picture in the camera and then I bring it onto the laptop and I look and I'm like, oh my god, everything's so red. Like, uh and I was talking to Chama, he's like, you could just adjust the colors on it a little bit, change your highs and your lows or whatever and adjust it accordingly. And it just makes it pop every time, dude. Like it makes it pop every time. And it's just a color adjustment. I'm not, adding in, a whole bunch of stuff. It's just adjusting the color and it makes it pop, man. It makes it look the way I've been trying to make it look for so long.
Yeah, like the vision in your eyes to match the actual, final product.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. The here, you know what? Let me bring it up real quick.
yeah,
I'll
like,
show you the one.
I'm like, with my last shot I did, that Figure Arts Buzz Lightyear, and I wanted to try something new, and, Carl, uh he does a lot of heavy editing now too, to the
Mhm.
point where it's like, oh, that looks awesome because it gives you that magazine-ish comic cover style, poster, movie poster feel, right?
Mhm.
So in my head with this shot, I kind of had almost like the same idea. So I said, "Hey man, can you do me a favor and edit this for me? Maybe like make some lights in the background pop and all this." And I liked what the final product was when he did for me. I enjoyed it a lot. So I was like, "Man, I gotta get into this because I don't know anything about editing other than whatever I can do on my phone
Mhm.
with the brightness and things like that, and that's like nothing compared to other people."
Yeah, I brought up what is it? If you accept the there we go. So like this one, it was like very, very red. A little bit of color adjustment just really brought it out. I still think though, the lighting really brings it all together. I know a lot of people focus on the fact that I use a lot of like smoke in my pictures. Um, I guess that's become my signature thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that everybody, some people, the minute you see a shot, it's like, I know who did this, you know? And it's like you said, it's like a signature almost.
Hmm.
And I why would someone complain? I don't know, but I just think it's like that's your thing, and it's like almost like you're just mastering your craft at this point, right?
Hmm.
To the point where it's like, yeah, oh shit, oh snap, the smoky effect pics, yo, yeah, that's Cheney,
Hmm.
you know. Unlike other, sometimes you see some photos and you're like, yo, who did this? And it's like, oh damn, I didn't even know it was him, or who is
Yeah.
this? Because sometimes it looks so nice, or it could look maybe bad, but so far, like, with these people like that have like a signature style and look to their photos, it's like you already know, you know what I mean? Just even with the posing.
Hmm.
Sometimes just the way you pose a figure, it's like, "Oh, I know who did that."
Yeah.
Like, Just Jay, his walk,
Hmm.
the walking figures, like, come on, who doesn't know when you see a image of that, it's like you already know it's him, or maybe the balancing,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know? It's like stuff like that, so yeah. And this is a beautiful shot, I love this.
yeah, this came out like this is what I had in my mind. Like it worked out the way that I had it in my head. It was great. Um and you know, there's a lot of lighting in here that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily think is happening. Like, you know, I've got lighting from the top, I've got lighting from the ground in the front, I've got lighting on each side. Like, you know, there's a
Is
lot
that a
going
light
on here.
also right behind them?
Yes, yes.
Nice. See, I can see the lighting on, like, from underneath, because you
Hmm.
see it on the legs, right? Like, how
Hmm.
brighter it is compared to the rest, cause and the shading and everything. The
Hmm.
one right behind them, it looks awesome because it almost looks like the sun in a way, right?
Hmm.
With the whole smoke effect and then the background. But then other than that, it's like, I don't even know where else you would put a light, because it's just like it looks nice, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
for you to say, like, there's a whole bunch of lighting, it's like, "Alright, cool. Where though?" You know? Like,
Yeah, I usually so what do I got going on here? I think I used almost all of my lights. So I used for the background one, that is a lume cube with a color gel in it to give it that orange look so that it turned the smoke orange. Um I think I used my two lamp lights and put them at like an orange light. And so those are coming in from the back as well. Um and then I use those lume cube panels on each side from the side and then one on the bottom. And I think I used one or two Lonzi on the bottom as well. No, I had a Ulanzi in an orange color on the top as well, as you could see on the top of his hair right there, that orange
yes.
coloring.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, there was a lot of lighting going on. And when I originally brought it out of the camera and onto the laptop, it was very red. It looked, you saw that, like I sent it to you initially and it was very red. And then I
Yeah,
did
I
some,
remember.
yeah. And so I had asked Chamba what he thought about it. And he was like, let me do a quick little thing. I'm like, dude, what did you do? He's like, just a color adjustment. That's it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that. And so like I tried it and it came out great, man. It came out great.
Yeah, awesome
Um,
shot, awesome shot.
yeah, that's a whole other part of it too that, you know, a lot of people don't talk about. Like some people go, this is my setup. Here's all my lighting. Here's my settings on my camera, but they don't talk about what they do, you know, on the editing aspect of it, because
Yeah,
editing it can be a big part of it as well. Like, I mean, if you follow Ayavawatu and see some of his, like, you know, time lapse stuff, like the editing that guy puts into it, he's a master at what he
yeah,
does. Like Tom is insane. He's an animal. Like same thing with 1 6 shooter. Trevor is an animal as well. Like
yes.
both those guys are insanely talented when it comes to this stuff. So it's like, you know, they do some great stuff. I don't have the knowledge of, you know, photo editing to even think about doing half of that stuff, but you know, I try to make up for it with like lighting and stuff like that. So
Now, do you, like you said, you're just getting more into it now and everything.
mhm.
What are your what's your take on heavy editing? Because I know sometimes, especially with the ACBA groups, it's like frowned upon, like over editing.
I wouldn't
But then
necessarily
sometimes,
say it's frowned upon. I think they have their set of things. It's like, you know, and I've seen a lot of guys over there that they've done everything that they can do tangible to where it's like, okay, this is cool. Now I want to learn the other side of it.
yeah,
Now I want to learn the editing side. And I've seen a lot of guys move over and like really dive into editing and stuff like that. And a lot of guys are comfortable with like, I don't want to mess with any of that stuff. I've got adjustments I can do on the camera and I'm good there. Like I'll put up some glass and throw, you know, word bubbles up or effects or whatever. And not to take any credit away from like some of the stuff those guys do, because it's insane. Like some of the stuff they do is wild.
yeah,
Um, but that is, you know, that's their thing, is they try to stay as tangible as possible. um I personally, like, I've gotten to the point where I'm learning more of the editing stuff because it interests me. Like I want to know like what I can do, you know, like um for instance, like with like Ghost in the Shell stuff and stuff like that. I want to add those like weird little glitchy things in there where it kind of looks like it's like a glitchy kind of like photo. Or
Yeah.
I did a shot before with the character from Dora Hedoro, and I added in these little, I had to make my own pattern, but they were little green, red, and blue dots. And so I shrunk them down, and it was a whole pattern over the whole thing. So it looked like an old school tube TV. If you go back and look at that picture, it looks like an old tube TV. So
Nice.
it's like there's little things that, like, I've been learning along the way that it's like, this is cool. But the main thing that's helped me along the way more than anything else is the fact that I dedicate every single week to taking a shot. Every single week I'm putting out a shot, whether I like it or I don't. Sometimes I hate it and I'm just like, dude, I don't have time for this, and I'm just chasing the clock. And other times it's like, okay, cool, I've got a whole plan. Like, shoot, it's like Sunday, I've already got my idea locked in and the figures are posed. All I got to do is set them up, and this is going to be great. So sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but I do that to myself because when I was in the ACBA photo combat contest, they were doing a weekly picture. And
Yeah.
after I got done with that, I realized, like, from that, like the few weeks I was in it, I learned so much because it pushed me harder than I'd ever been pushed before to put out shots. And so I was like, I'm going to take that and I'm going to implement that. And I'm going to take a picture for every single thumbnail for the show. We're over 300 episodes in now, Dario. Like, and there's maybe a handful of shots that I haven't taken. Like, I bummed a couple off Johnny, and I think you had one in there. We're doing a
And
contest.
we did the Toy Migos thumbnail,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
the
So there's
hashtag, and I think a couple or maybe 3 or 4 made it to that.
mhm.
So
So there's a few in there that, maybe like 10 out of like the
300 and plus.
314, 313 episodes that we have. So it's like it's it's something to it's at the point now where it's like I don't think I can ever stop doing it.
Well, now it's that's routine,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, "Oh, I can't do the show. I haven't done the thumbnail yet."
yeah,
But
yeah.
then that also improves yourself because you're doing it weekly
Hmm.
and there to try new things, just like you said with the editing on the lighting and everything and whatnot, you know?
Hmm.
So that's
And the
awesome.
other thing that kind of bites me in the butt on that is I can't do giant setups, like, something that takes a long time to set up and dial in and
Ah,
whatnot,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm time constricted. So it's like, but I try and have as much fun with it as I can. And like I said, there are weeks where I'm just like, oh, why do I do this to myself? But overall, it's still fun. I still look forward to it. I'll get a figure in and I'm like, ideas start turning. I'm like, okay, cool. This is going to be awesome. Like, I'm going to take some pictures of this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. Like, I'm just like, all right, cool. And it, like, the whole thing is because it's like I'm buying all these toys all the time. So it's like, if I'm buying all these toys all the time, I need to be able to like kind of do something with them. And that's one of the main reasons why I got into it too, is it's like it gives me an excuse to play with my toys even more than I do now.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there because I was just buying and not doing anything, but now it's like I wanna take that, that mentality and do something with them. So that's why I wanna get more into the photography, and why I wanted to start the show to improve not only doing it, but also learning from others,
Hmm.
because a lot of the times we see these things on IG or whatever social media you're using to see these photos, and it's like, how do you do it? And sometimes it's like, oh man, I would love to ask them, and almost like I guess being scared or intimidated or whatever the case may be, you don't you don't message these people because you feel like almost like they're celebrities, in a way, like almost like they are. Like I can't go and say, hey man, what did you do to this? And it's like, so it's just the whole thing. It's like you're all in
Well,
your head.
there's that part, and then there's the other aspect of it. It's like you got to think like some of these guys have like thousands and thousands of followers, right? So their
Yeah.
inbox is just flooded all the time, and they get questions and questions that don't make any sense and all kinds of stuff all the time. And like you get in your own head, you're like, dude, what is my question? Like he ain't got time for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Like,
I don't want
what
to bug
program do you
him.
use for editing? That's so stupid. Like, why did I ask that?
Yeah, yeah. So it's
But
like,
mind you, all these guys are probably hitting them up like, "Hey," like I remember Darius, the Amazing said that most of the messages he gets is like, "Hey, send me a free figure because I know you get them for free or something."
yeah,
It has nothing
that's
to
a
do with,
that's a
you know,
common thing. Yeah.
yeah. So, but it's cool. And then again, like the whole purpose of the show is to learn, and maybe someone picks up on these tips and things that you say, and just get better from there.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. This is where I want to chop it up, put a commercial or something,
Okay.
show some photos, and then I'm gonna just finish it off with the rest of the questions. It's not
Okay.
bad. It's half hour, so
Yeah.
I don't want to do it more than an hour. So that's cool.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right. Uh, blah, blah, blah. We just seen that last shot that you did for one of the thumbnails. Like, what's a figure that you've had, or maybe you were excited to get, and when you went to go shoot it, it just wasn't coming out right?
That's a tough one. Um, let me look in my phone real quick. I can't
Because
think of it off.
sometimes we get all excited for the stuff that we buy, and then maybe we see it and it's like, oh man, that looks so awesome and it's great and I can't wait to get it. And then the minute you take it out the box, it's like, damn, I don't like this. Like I don't really mess with this. I thought it'd be better. But then sometimes we still appreciate it and think it's awesome. And then again, the vision you have in your head isn't getting put on paper the right
Right.
way.
Right.
So it's like, sometimes, like, for instance, I don't know, I had a NECA figure and I wanted to make it look. I tried to take a shot. It was the NECA It figure, one of the It figures from the newer movies, and I had a whole idea in my head, and every time I kept messing with it, it just wasn't coming out right. And it was like, it was just all in my head, and I was like, damn. And I tried it for 3 days, all different types of stuff, and I was like, and I just gave up. I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, man, I really like it, and I love the way it looks and everything. It looks cool," because NECA's all about detailing and stuff like that, and it was just bum, bum, bum.
Here's one. So the uh the Mai Shiranoi from Seven Toys.
Okay,
This this is a character from SNK King of Fighters. Can't really
okay,
see it because it's so red right here, but
yeah,
that I got that figure in, and the figure was like kind of like so. I didn't care for it, and then so I was like, oh, I'll take a picture of it, and it just didn't come out the way I wanted it to, and it was just a pain in the butt. And I really don't like that figure at all.
yeah, because it's like you get it, like I said, you get it, you get excited for it, and then you wanna shoot it because you're excited for that said figure,
Yep.
and then it just doesn't. Like, what happened? Like, what did my camera broken?
Yeah. What I've really been into is like kind of like doing deep dives lately and like going into a line and like kind of like doing like a themed kind of deal. Like I did it with Street Fighter last year in the beginning of the year, and
Mhm,
then towards the end of last year and the beginning of this year I did it with my One Piece Mega House figures. And I like doing that because it's like not all of them are going to be bangers, but some of them are like, you're going to hit it. You know what I mean? Like some of them are like, okay, cool. I dig that. That came out good. And others, I could have done better. I get strapped for time or whatever. Like usually on the ones that like don't come out as good is because I didn't dedicate a lot of time to it. I didn't get enough planning in ahead of time.
yeah, and that goes again because you're doing it weekly for the show, so it's like, I have to
Hmm.
do it before then or else it's bupkis, and like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
But in a way, that kind of like again, like going back, that kind of is like pushing you to almost like get better each
Mhm.
week
Yep.
because it's like no matter how much time I have, whether it's a lot of time or an hour, I gotta get this done. And
Right.
like sometimes you're working under pressure and it comes in clutch because it's like, oh wow, I didn't even expect to come out with this banger, right? Like so,
And there's been a few times, a handful of times, I get everything set up, lighting's all set up, I drop the camera down, I focus, I'm like, all right, hit the button, take the shot, look at it. Okay, that looks good to me. And then I'll take another one. I'm like, no, take another one. Okay, no, we're good. We're done. And then I move over to editing. And I'm just like, okay, nice.
nice. So all right, so that was a figure that you know you didn't like the way it was coming out.
Yeah.
What's maybe a figure that you love to shoot that it was like, oh man, this came out better than I thought.
Definitely that Ghost in the Shell, Kusanagi. And I'll bring that up on the screen share right now and show you real quick. I love taking pictures of that Kusanagi.
Yeah, like when I got that Buzz Lightyear, I really, I don't really mess with my stuff, as people know from watching the shows and stuff. I forget what I get.
mm-hmm,
So like it's like, it's get it and forget it. And then it's like, but with this Buzz Lightyear, I realized that I had it next to me, like right here for like the whole time. I like when I bought it, I had it there for like a whole month. And I was like, man, I want to shoot this. I want to shoot this. Luckily I did, but it's like in a way I'm not happy with the shot. I was just satisfied. It's like I want to go back and do something else with it. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm. Yeah, I love taking pictures of this
Yes.
figure.
I remember this. Yes.
I love taking pictures of this figure. Now, some of the posing bugs me now that I look back on it,
Hmm.
but the way the lighting and everything came out is just stellar. I love the way this came out. And I love taking pictures of this thing. Let me
Yeah,
bring up
that's nice.
another one here real quick. Um, let's see. Sorry, my feed is literally all thumbnails for this show. I take so this one I took with my phone.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I took this one with my phone, and I just did a couple minor edits with my phone, and it came out like this. And I really liked the way it looked, and so I posted it.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
this looks nice. Again, like I can't even tell. Like if you would have never said anything about your phone, I would
yeah,
have never noticed. I would have never thought.
yeah. Took that with the phone right there.
Nice.
Where's the other one? Well, here's another one. And this one, I was running out of time, and I think the lights are too hot. I don't like this picture. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not a fan
Yeah.
of this picture because it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. And then this one, I like this one a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah, I dig that one.
Yeah. Looking back now, I would do things a little bit differently with this though. It's
Now,
funny
would you
because go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I you're good.
No, I was gonna say, would you ever like try to redo a shot like almost like identical? Like let's say with this one, for instance, right? And
Hmm.
just go and probably same pose and everything set up, just tweak the lighting,
Uh-huh.
maybe something like
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, I would if I went back and did this, I would definitely tweak the lighting a little bit differently. For sure. Like looking at it now, I'm like, I could have made the face and the eyes pop a lot more. That bugs me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, there's some things going on there that I don't necessarily like, but it still came out nice. Like I love the way the lighting is on the top of the sword.
Yes.
Like that came out great. But yeah, no, I would definitely go back and if I was to do this again. I've thought about that in the past. Going back and doing shots over.
Like with the now on like the level that you're on now from back then,
Mhm. Mhm.
almost like to see the difference type of thing.
Yeah, because if we go down here a bit, oh, I really like how this one came out too. That one came out nice. Lady J.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here's another one that was funny. I think this one was with my phone as well. I had it all set up and I looked down because I had them on glass because I wanted them to have make it look like it was like a clean black floor.
Yeah.
And I looked down and I was like, "Oh, that looks really cool." And I like took a picture of it and I was like, I took a bunch of pictures of like the actual setup of this and none of
Mhm.
them came out as good as this. And so I was like, let's dig a little bit deeper here. Oh, for the opposite of like what you're saying, like a figure that just photographs well, this Mandalorian has such figure arts just loves lighting in the camera. The way the paint is on that for his armor, it just
Yeah.
loves the light. I don't know. I would have to go way far down to get because I think we're barely 2020 here. Like I would like to do this one again. This one didn't come out the way I wanted to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could do this better now for sure. Um, because there's a lot of this stuff that I could do better now.
So out of all of these that you're looking at right now, what's one of your favorite shots and like and why?
Um, let's see. I really like this one. That one came out really good. I rarely ever do water or rain effects, so I did that with this one, and I thought it came out pretty decent. Moving back up here, though, let's see. I really like this Nico Robin one. That one was a lot of fun to do. I digitally added in the pedals there, so those aren't tangible, unfortunately. Um, shoot, there's so many pictures. I like this one. This one came out really good. I still really like this one a lot. This is the Dawson Ichigo from Bleach with the Toynami statue head on it. And it's crazy because the way it came out looks very close to like even the show. Um, this one was a lot of fun. Oh, I don't have the other part without the logo, but this was a lot of fun to do. I like the way that one came out, and then I did a kind of a B side with it. Yeah, there it is. The full shot is where it's at.
Yeah, nice. That looks dope.
There's even some things I do differently on this now, but yeah, I like the way that came out. I mentioned that Lady J one. That Lady J one was good. I really like the lighting on this one. I like how that came out. Um, this one was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Um, this one was fun too. I really like that. I thought that one came out pretty decent.
Yeah, that looks cool.
I like this one a lot too, even though that was on my phone. I don't know. I like the way that looked, how that came out. Um, this one came out really good. This one was second second picture I took of
Oh
the
yeah,
setup.
nice.
This was one that was just like, okay, I think we're done here. Like I was all okay, like I'm not gonna fight that. So yeah, I really like that one. Um this one, I like this one a lot for some reason. I take the way that one came out. here's the one I was telling you about that has the if you zoom in, you can see the little pixelization on it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That one got like all kinds of love on here. Um, let's see. This one's one of my favorite ones. There's a lot of work that went into this one.
Yeah, it looks dope.
That was very cyberpunk edge runners
Yeah.
inspired right there.
No, that looks dope. I like that.
This one was fun because I got it to look the way it was supposed to, like fairly game accurate. So that was cool. Um, Obviously, the Luffy one that we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
and the one I took last week came out pretty good, man. I was
Yeah. I
surprised.
really dug that. I love the lighting, like it's green on one, purple on the other, but it doesn't look like it's mixing in the middle, you know?
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm.
almost looks like you did it. It almost looks like you did separate backgrounds and then meshed them.
Yeah, no, that was all one shot. Everything was together there. So I had green lights on one side and the pink lights on the other side, and getting that vapor or the smoke to pick up those colors before it rolls back and hits the figures and like gets all in the way. You can kind of see where it gets in the way a
Yeah.
little here on
Just a
his
little bit,
foot,
yeah.
but yeah, getting to snap that shot right before it happens, it takes some practice.
Nice.
It's crazy, but
Now I
yeah.
know, obviously the show hasn't come out yet, so we haven't seen uh what you're gonna be doing. But have you chosen like a figure yet to be like, all right,
For
this is what I'm gonna use this week for this
for
week's
this
episode?
week, um, I don't think so. It's what, Monday? It's Monday.
Yeah.
I still got tomorrow. I was planning on doing a shot tomorrow because I took tonight off. So it's like, all right, I got the majority of the day to get that knocked out tomorrow. Um, I don't know. I need to get back into a theme again, like a theme of like a line. I feel that I do better that way because I can kind of plan ahead a little bit more. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, this week I did this character. Next week I'm gonna do that character. I've got this idea already, so I just got to set all the stuff up and then shoot, and then it'll be good to go.
No, that's a
Um,
that's a pretty dope idea, man, because it keeps you on track, and then not like last minute scrounging for something like, oh man, what am I gonna get? And then
that's the part I hate the most is like when I'm sitting there and I've got no ideas and I'm just looking over here like I don't know what I'm gonna do.
yeah, that probably sucks,
Oh, dude, yeah, yeah. Especially like if I get home on a Thursday morning and I'm
You're
like,
like, oh, where's the thing? I just have it here. What the hell?
and I'm tired, and I'm like, okay, well, number one, you're tired, so you need to go to bed right now. And you help me understand that. Like you're like, dude, go to bed. You got nothing. Just go to bed. And so,
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's a good point. Like, overworking it, I guess, right? Or like exhausting yourself
well,
is another major part.
if you're
Yeah,
tired, you're not going to have like the eyes that you want.
yeah. So
Your tired eyes aren't going to work the way you want. You're going to be doing things that you normally wouldn't do in the first place,
yeah, and
and
I
so
I
you're going to
remember
make
like when
mistakes.
I remember like the convo and stuff when you were like, dude, I got nothing. It's this, and it's like and it's because you would always tell me like, oh, just leave it, take a break, come
Hmm.
back with fresh eyes,
Uh huh.
and you'll see things a whole different way. And you know what? You were right. Like I was so like caught up in like I gotta do it today. I have to finish it now, or I'm never gonna do it.
Hmm.
And it literally was just getting worse and worse,
Yep. It
and
just
then like
it steamrolls into a bigger issue, and it sometimes the last thing you want to do is walk away from it, but it's the
yeah,
best thing you can do if you have the time and you have the ability. Like you have your shot set up, and you're like, okay, cool. I I'm not getting anywhere with this right now. Go sleep on it. Go to bed. Go to
Yeah.
bed.
Just turn the
Wake up.
camera off,
Yep.
leave
Walk away.
everything the way it is,
Yep.
if you can,
If you can. Yep.
and then come back to it, in a couple of hours later, the next day, a couple days later,
Yep. You'll
and
have a
then you
fresh
might
set
just
of eyes and you'll
or
go,
maybe a whole new idea, like,
yeah.
"You know what? This wasn't working for said reasons. Let me try this."
Yeah, no, I've
You
done
know?
that before where like I got stuff set up and I'm like, okay, cool. I think this works, but my eyes are just not working right now. So I'm gonna go lay down. I lay down, I wake up, I'm like, that angle sucked, number one. I don't know what I was thinking with that angle. And I'll like
Yeah,
adjust something. I'm like, there we go. That's way better. Like I like me in my own mind couldn't solve that problem earlier. Me
yeah.
now with a fresh insight on things, that's plain as day. What were you thinking? You weren't, like, and you could be your worst enemy when it comes
Oh,
to that
yes.
stuff. Like,
You are your biggest critic,
mm-hmm.
and that's why I don't do this all the time, because 'cause I'm like, "You suck." "Yeah, you know what? You're right," and I just leave.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I just
like,
leave.
and that's the thing. You gotta drive it in a little bit more and just okay. I'm gonna do this shot and get to that point, okay, I'm gonna take a break, come back to it. And if you can leave it there and come back to it, then come back to it. Okay, now I understand that I wasn't thinking straight on that one. So I'm gonna do this and okay, I like this now. Take your pictures and all right, we're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what? And before we go, do you have, like, maybe a bit of advice that's for someone that wants to, like, take up this hobby?
Um for someone starting off new, I would say before anything, make sure you get your poses down. Posing is everything. Posing tells the story. If you're dusty on your posing doesn't look that great, it's gonna translate in your picture. It's going to translate in your picture. Posing is a priority. um Lighting, there's many different charts that will show you lighting, that will show you where to put the light on your subject, that will show emotion that you're trying to show in your picture. So look up some lighting. Like, lighting is a huge thing. Huge thing. I can't speak enough about lighting. Like, lighting is everything. And the other thing is, you don't need a DSLR out the gate. You just don't. A lot of times now on your phone, you can go in and set the your camera settings to manual, and you can manually shoot with your phone.
Mhm.
Use a tripod. Don't ever do it with your hand. Like, literally put it on a tripod. Like, get the little cheapy one on Amazon, set it down, get your thing all set up, and then take your pictures. Start on your phone. Don't go buying any cameras until you know that that's what you want to do. Once you get like some good solid pictures on your camera and you get a good feeling of what it is that you're doing and what's going on, then start looking at some cameras and do your homework. Do a bunch of homework on your camera before you buy one. And then when you get your camera, expect that you're not going to know how to use that camera. And your pictures are going to suck. And you're going to hate it and you're going to think, "Why did I do this? This is stupid. I'm going to go back to the other thing or my phone." You're going to have to learn all over again. And the biggest thing is it's a learning curve. The whole thing is a learning curve. You've got to, you know, level yourself up. That's really what it is. Like, you're going to get back what you put into it at the end of the day. And that goes with a lot of things, but yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. Great advice. Man, you know, I just wanna thank you for coming on and, sharing with us your your experience from beginning to where you're at now, So thank you for that. Where can we find you?
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Number one, I don't usually get to talk toy pigs, so this is cool. Like, this has been a lot of fun. You can find me on Instagram. I'll post my thumbnail once a week usually. Sometimes you guys might get a bonus picture in there, but other than that, I'm usually just dropping the thumbnail and then I'm out. But you can find me there, Instagram, Cheney180, ToyMigos, Instagram, Chat Migos Assemble on Tuesdays. They're Not Dolls every Thursday night, 8:15 p.m. Pacific Central or Pacific Standard. Um, yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Again, thank you for coming on, and thank you everybody for watching and tuning in. See you next episode. All right. That was cool. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Should I end recording or
Yeah, you can
I'm
end the
like, yeah,
recording.
I'm
It'll
scared
keep us
to
on.
fucking do this shit.